A few weeks ago, Elon Musk made a bid to buy Twitter. We're talking about a jaw-dropping $43 billion. And this is for a company that made over $5 billion in revenue last year. So why is Tesla's founder interested in Twitter? Today I'm exposing the real reason. Just this last March, Elon bought over 9% of Twitter. That made him Twitter's largest external shareholder. A month later, Musk offered to buy the rest of Twitter at $54.20 a share. That offer valued the company at around $44 billion. To put that in perspective, Elon Musk himself is worth some $280 billion. When he offered to buy Twitter, his decision was met with mixed reactions. Some were excited, but others were concerned. After all, imagine the richest person in the world now owning Twitter and the social reach and marketing platform that this will give him. But here's the thing. Elon Musk said this isn't about making money or buying as a financial investment. Instead, he sees it as a service for the good of the public. He says he will unlock the potential of Twitter for the sake of free speech. So you see, his plan is to regain people's trust in the platform by making it more inclusive. And he wants complete freedom of speech to be top priority. Personally, I don't buy it. Here's why. Musk wants to change the platform features and policies. For one, he wants to enable an edit button to allow people to rewrite history or change tweets. He also cautioned against Twitter's permanent bans. Instead, he'd rather opt out for temporary suspensions instead. He also believes that Twitter's coding structure should be transparent. Because of this, he said in the past that if he was ever to purchase Twitter, he would post its open source data on a popular forum for coders. That way, average people around the globe would be able to see the company's data, identify flaws, and offer solutions. Well, it kind of reminds me of when Tesla released many of the patents for free. You'd think it was for goodwill, but it's actually strategic. On the surface, when you make something open source, you might think you're going to invite the risk of creating new competitors. But the truth is, yes, you're creating a competitor, but since you're the richest man in the world, you'll acquire them then. It's brilliant. I can hear Michael Corleone who said, "I'll make him an offer he can't refuse." So why is this a smarter strategy than just hiring employees to figure out new technology? Well, first of all, when you give proprietary information out for free, you score big time as a good guy. And that challenges engineers and entrepreneurs of the world to create something cool. It's this challenge that is a powerful fuel that drives innovation, more than money. Meanwhile, if you're the richest man on earth, you can sit back like a spectator while everyone jumps in and gets creative. You lose no money while they figure things out. But when someone breaks through with an innovation, that's when you, as the richest man, can acquire that technology. At that moment, yes, it will cost you and it won't be cheap, but you'll get it's worth much more as time goes on. This isn't a new strategy. For example, Toyota released many of their hydrogen patents. The only problem was that it was a bit too late. Let's talk about Twitter's reach. Guess how large the platform is? Last year, Twitter had nearly 397 million users. But here's the thing. Like many social media platforms, Twitter is notorious for fake news and fake accounts. Last month, Elon Musk even tweeted that his Twitter deal was currently on hold due to the calculations that 5% of Twitter accounts were spam and fake accounts. 5% may not sound like much, but once you take in consideration the hundreds of millions of existing Twitter accounts, you can see why 5% can be a concerning percentage. But if you think 5% is high, get ready for your jaw to drop. According to an in-depth analysis, 19.4% of all active Twitter accounts are either fake or spam accounts. This means that they found almost a quarter of all the accounts on Twitter operated by bots. But whether fake Twitter accounts make up 5 or 19.4% or anywhere in between, that data is concerning to Twitter. The company even reported that they remove 500,000 spam bot accounts per day. But this problem won't just go away once Musk takes control of the platform. Actually, it'll be the opposite. With Musk's more lax rules on who can post what on the platform, without breaking the law, of course, you can easily imagine how the number of fake accounts will explode. And that's why Musk is doing due diligence to get the real data. Elon wants to create a system that will require users to verify their accounts. Can you just imagine needing to scan and upload your passport or driver's license, or even do a video conference where you show them your documents? I'm sure most people don't want to do that. Now, if I were to ask you what social media platform is used the most, what would you say? If you guessed Facebook, you'd be right. Facebook reported nearly 3 billion active monthly users. In the same month, YouTube reported more than 2.6 billion active users. But remember, this includes spam and fake accounts. Let's get serious. What's Elon Musk's real motive for buying Twitter? I mean, sure, he says it's for the good of the public, but is that really true? Remember, this is the first time in history that the owner of a major car company will be buying a major social media outlet. No other car maker has this kind of marketing power. Think of the hundreds of millions who could see Tesla-centric tweets and ads every time they're on the app. And I bet you it'll cost Tesla nothing. Think about power of Twitter in the presidential election back in 2020, for example. Joe Biden worked hard at maintaining a strong online social outreach campaign. And you can see why. Times have changed. Political campaigns and TV ads just don't cut it anymore. With the rise of streaming services and social media, many people are turning out of traditional TV. And because fewer people are watching commercials on TV, social media has filled that void. And there was another unexpected major social media factor that helped Biden win the last election, and that is Generation Z. A unique approach taken by the Biden campaign was to use social media influencers. Viral posts from these influencers spread across social media and reached millions of Gen Z youths. Those in the younger generations are the ones that are typically not glued to TV news channels watching for election updates. They'd much rather watch their favorite influencers show off on their smartphones. But once that same influencer starts speaking about who they think should be the next president, it has a strong impact. The use of influencers by the Biden campaign greatly increased Gen Z voting turnout in 2020. Young adults aged 18 and up trust their favorite social media influencer rather than their parents. The government doesn't only use social media in their interest when it comes to elections, though. They can use it for all sorts of things. The state of Colorado uses Twitter to post colorful, upbeat, and fun job listings. They also use it to show their successes in handling difficult situations like the pandemic. Seattle, Washington's transportation department uses Instagram to keep their citizens informed of road closures and advertise events and so forth. According to one study, about 70% of U.S. adults actively rely on social media for government information at least once a week. So you can see the power of a government-related social media post. But those in government positions now need to be careful. They post on social media or they can get sued or lose popularity. This generation saw the invention of a new word called cancel culture, where you get punished if you say something wrong, unpopular, or politically incorrect. Cancel culture is much more powerful than getting slapped with a lawsuit. Just look at Johnny Depp with his feud with his ex-wife. With that in mind, just imagine Elon Musk now owning the machine which holds the key to cancel culture. Think back to when Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post in 2013. He paid $250 million for the newspaper. Donald Graham, son of the Washington Post publisher Katharine Graham, was the first person to suggest Bezos buy the Post. At first, Bezos claims he had no interest at all in the investment, but Graham reminded him that it wasn't just about newspaper expertise, but rather it was about mastery over the internet. Bezos came to see the power it would give him, and that's why he made the jump. But publicly, that wasn't the reason it was given. The public perception is that Bezos bought it for the sake of journalism and democracy, pretty much free speech. Do you see the same pattern here? Speaking of power, as if Tesla wasn't already powerful enough, adding Twitter as its marketing platform will only broaden its global reach. Twitter would be just another addition to the Tesla ecosystem. Let's talk about ecosystem. A technological ecosystem is a collection of interconnected tech products that are integrated to make consumers' lives easier, but it also makes them more dependent in a technological ecosystem. Here, all the elements work together in some way, and Tesla is one of the masters of the technology ecosystem. Along with the EVs, Tesla also manufactures a unique set of energy solutions known as Power Pack, Powerwall, and Solar Roof. Also in their ecosystem is Gigafactory 1. This is a facility that was designed to greatly reduce battery cell costs. In Tesla's own words, electric cars, batteries, renewable energy generation, and storage already exist independently, but as soon as you combine them, they become even more powerful, and that's the future they want. Most of the elements in Tesla's ecosystems are linked by the highly sophisticated Tesla mobile app. In the app, you can control many of the features of your Tesla car. Up until recently, the Tesla ecosystem was made up of EVs, charging infrastructure, and solar systems. But soon, imagine adding a social media application to that ecosystem, and who knows what's next. Most consumers are attracted to convenience, and what's more convenient than having everything you need at the touch of your fingertips? Tesla isn't the only major tech company to focus on an ecosystem. Apple is a huge example. People don't buy iPhones just because they like the hardware. It's because they're tied to the ever-growing Apple ecosystem that allows you to do more with their products if you continue to invest in that ecosystem. Here's what I mean. Back in 2007, when Apple introduced the iPhone, iPod users who were already using iTunes easily made the switch over. Then came the App Store, and then there was iMessage, FaceTime, Apple TV, and even the Apple Watch. And every year since then, the Apple ecosystem has just continued to grow. Really, one of the only main differences between Tesla and Apple's ecosystem is that Tesla is a car company. Apple is not, at least not yet. There is talk about Apple's up-and-coming fully autonomous and self-driving Apple car, which is rumored to hit the market in the next few years. And if these rumors hold true, the ecosystem will be even more integrated. If Tesla's ecosystem expands to include Twitter, SpaceX, Starlink, and so forth, buying a Tesla won't be just about buying a car. Once you buy into the ecosystem, it'll be a life commitment. Now, if you're an Apple fan right now, you've already spent thousands of dollars to buy all the integrated devices. All of them are good, but none of them work without each other. Your world turns like clockwork so long as all your Apple devices devices are working together. This is ideal and perfect if the products in the ecosystem are the best in the world. But if they start to stall on innovation and future generation devices are not that much better, then you have no choice but to accept things as they are, since you've already heavily invested in the ecosystem. So now you can see how Twitter may help Tesla to dominate all car makers in the world. But you know me, I like to speak my mind. And now, what do you think about all this? And what's the solution? Please share this video, like, and subscribe. See you next time.